is the same person that was so loud about Katisha and Jevin. So loud. He had the most to say. He was right, but he had the most to say. But he was worse. Cal, you are 10 times worse than Javin. Because you're a liar. You're a liar. You didn't even try. You didn't even try. And you knew. And I don't even think about this is about him being attracted to her or he's not being a regular type. He just didn't try. Marriage is about trying. You're in a legal, a spiritual covenant with somebody. And this is just a flimsy way. So you can just tell. So Rover was taking this seriously. The institution of marriage is so important to her, and you wasted her time. So let me get this straight. You have an issue with your short-term relationships. You can't really seem to find a long-term thing. And his brother did say this, by the way. His brother said this when they went to visit the family. His brother said this. We should have listened. You have an issue with long-term relationships. You get bored easily. So instead of you doing the work on yourself, you decide, let me go on a reality TV show where I date a stranger, get engaged with them, and at the end of the experiment, get legally married to them, all in a space of maybe 4 or 5 weeks. I'm honestly, I'm trying to understand the thought process behind somebody like Cal. You came to waste everybody's time. You literally came to waste your own time and to waste her time. In her culture, marriage is so important. Whether or not, how different people get together, the institution of marriage in her culture is so big. She even stressed that. Okay? And you came to waste this girl's time. What was the point? I felt so bad for her. Like, why? This marriage is not just, I'm popping to the shop for some rich tea. But maybe I changed my mind. I'm going to get some hobnobs instead. Like, it's not that kind of flimsy decision. This is a legal covenant. This is a spiritual covenant you're making with someone when you marry them. And you behaving like this and communicating that it was over, to me, I can't respect that. I just realized I'm giving very Mel B right now. Oh my God. But now it's time for Billy. So Billy just wanted someone who was going to just slip into his life. Wasn't going to make any changes to how he lived his life or how he communicated or anything like that. He was just, another person. Actually, no, you are a divorcee. So you have had a failed marriage. But you decided to get married again and basically not change. No, we're not even going to, we're not even going to kind of compromise. You see, Ashley had the right, intention. She was very much so like, I know my job, can be X, Y, and Z, but for the sake of our marriage, maybe I might take more an office-based role or X, Y, and Z. That is the attitude you need to have for a marriage. I'm not saying you should change your lifestyle X, Y. Actually, no, I am saying that because you're marrying someone. You're going from being single and and living by yourself to living with someone that's your husband or wife. You do, and it's giving very coordinated attack. It's giving very coordinated attack. Billy and Cal. It's two dumb people, silly people telling each other exactly. That's the vibe it's giving. Two are very unserious men coming to waste these women's time. Anyway, who else is there? Jed and what's her name? But I'm not even gonna go on that. I've already done a video talk about that. She was not. Both of them. She wasn't willing to be married. Okay, she was another one. Not the same as Billy, but it's very much. This is how I live my life. I'm very independent, or X, Y, and Z. This is how I want. This is my vision of marriage. But you're not in a marriage by yourself. I think that whole situation about the paying and all that stuff, I think it really like humiliated Jed. And yeah, I just don't think it really, yeah. They weren't supposed to be married. I'm not even gonna waste my time on them. Bye. Sophie was there. I'm gonna get onto Sophie's in a minute. But Demola was there. Anu was there. Girl, Anu, I like you, but you did too much in that moment. But then in the same time, at least you were there. Patrick wasn't there. Patrick wasn't there, and from my understanding, he's a father now. So it's just like, you know what, he didn't want to be questioned about his spleen or his baby, so he didn't come. Does that show integrity? You know, it's always those spiritual men that that I just very not nice people. I'm sorry to say, I'm not saying this is for all of them, but this is a pattern I'm seeing with men like that, or even women like that. Very like, oh, my spleen, my inner voice, my da da da. But they're all just wiffle waffle. Javin, I mean, we already know he wasn't serious. He wasn't serious. He came on I don't even know why he came on the show, to be honest with you. And his mom, like his parents were there, or his mom and sister were there, and you could just tell they're just like, oh my god, I don't know what. This guy, they knew. The sister especially knew. I mean, she expressed it in the episodes. Sophie was there, and obviously she and Javin were flirting at the mixer thing, or that party thing they did. Guys, she apologized, but in the moment, that's her true character. That's how she was. The only reason she's apologizing is because people have been getting on to her, or people have been saying this and that. But, you know, you don't have to like Megan, but the woman that Megan portrayed you to be, well, the way you portrayed yourself and the way Megan saw you is how everyone now sees you. You were flirting with an engaged man. And you were flirting. Javin was flirting. Both of you knew what you were doing was wrong. And this all arguing in a photo booth, like, why? Why are you arguing with an engaged man? That's how I know both of you just weren't taking this thing seriously. And I personally don't believe nothing happened between you guys. I honestly if it didn't happen then, it's probably happened now, personally. But because of the backlash, let's get our stories together straight for the reunion. You ain't slick. Kieran and Megan were the only couple that are stood together. Let's just say Megan has really rubbed off on Kieran. His presentation, how he was dressed, the dangly earring, the haircut, everything. They kind of look like siblings. Is it only me that thinks they look alike? I remember when I was younger, I always assumed, which was dumb because, anyway, I always assumed that like husband and wife had to look similar with each other, to each other, which is silly of me to think because my parents don't look like each other. You know, obviously when you're young, you think silly things, but they actually look alike though. Or if not maybe look alike in face, you can match. Oh, them two are definitely together. And that is that kind of couple. She's definitely rubbed off on him. They seem happy though. But yeah, I'm not even going to go into this whole, like, the photo booth thing and them fighting with Javin. I've already kind of talked about in that previous video, but yeah, guys. I mean, for the second year in a row, we know that love is not blind. So